This podcast is brought to you by FND Legal.
For all your legal matters, especially Sharia and family law matters, WhatsApp or call FND Legal at 9653-1612.
Yes, 9653-1612. FND Legal, experienced, understanding and affordable. First consultation is free. Hey, welcome back to another episode of OUTSIDEIN with your host Yanto.
Farah, your go-to source for honest conversations about relationship and marriage.
So if you are ready, let's go.
Alhamdulillah, welcome to another episode.
Yes, kita ada sponsor baru. Alhamdulillah. Yes, so
Alhamdulillah.
we are very honoured.
Yes.
We're very proud and honoured to be able to work together with FND Legal.
Yes, and also especially because kita punya podcast kan pasal perkahwinan kan. So I feel it's apt lah.
Very apt,
Alhamdulillah ada,
yeah.
you know, family law that is on board right now. InsyaAllah.
Lagipun for those yang have been following us from the past, for the past few months or even from last year, you might see someone very familiar in our in this video that you are watching.
Mungkin tangan dia.
Sekarang
Tak. So yeah. Taklah. No lah, we are talking about Liza.
Yes. So of course with us today we have the representatives from FND Legal themselves.
Yes.
Liza dan juga Hakim. How are you guys today?
Hi guys.
Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum semua.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you
good
so
as
much.
well. Thank you everyone.
Yeah. Yes, good to know.
So tadi bila I buka pintu, bila Hakim tengah diri kat depan pintu kan, I was like, wah, ni betul-betul lawyer ni. Because they have the aura. Apa? Aura 9999
Orang buka tali kasut ni. Lama betul nak buka tali kasut tu.
But then of course we are very happy to have you guys here today because for those yang watched our Instagram story a few weeks back, we actually posted a question to you guys, nak tanya if you have anything you need to ask about
family lawyer
family
lah.
law,
Yes.
as a family lawyer, because why they are here today. Macam ibarat apa? Macam ibarat apa tahu? Macam this is like live consultation gitu, kan? Tapi kita adalah korang punya voices lah. Korang tanya, kita sampaikan.
Ni consultation tadi cakap.
Tak.
Tapi nasib baik pasal FND Legal free consultation.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah kita takkan.
Takut siap betul.
Baru tadi nak time tadi.
Okay, so let us introduce lah yourselves, Liza and also Hakim. Maybe we can start from Liza.
I think I have already introduced myself
Yes,
before
yes.
previously. General overview again. I'm Liza, lawyer for the past 6 years already.
Alhamdulillah.
And then also I am the director of FND Legal. And then today of course we have Hakim. He's actually double of my senior lah in terms of being a lawyer.
Betul.
Yeah.
Okay, so saya Hakim. Saya dah menceburi bidang undang-undang ni selama about 12 tahun lah, 12 years. I'm also the co-vice chairman of Muslim Law Practice Committee under Law Society. Sepanjang 12 tahun ni dah banyak bidang, banyak area yang saya dah ceburi, tapi belakangan ni paling banyaknya tentang syariah lah dengan family law.
So insyaAllah today will be an episode yang korang punya questions akan dijawab.
And also Liza, I'd like to ask you, why do you think there are so many questions regarding macam this divorce or like family law in general lah?
Basically, I think it's because information is so easily available online, and some information is actually very contradicting. I have clients who come to me and say, "But Google said."
Itu Google.
Yes.
Lawyer dia nama Google lah.
Nama Google, tapi dia datang cari lawyer juga. So I think it's because of that. There are a lot macam conflicting thoughts, conflicting idea lah of what certain things are. So that which is why people just get confused. And since most of the time legal advice is easily available for most people, they just come forward and then ask us questions lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are shy, but don't be shy, guys. If you have any questions, you macam betul-betul perlukan tolongan, I think it's better to go to professionals rather than you Google or tanya orang. Like Liza said, it will confuse you even more.
Ya, lagi-lagi FND Legal first consultation free sih.
First consultation
Apa kau nak Google free? Ni lagi in real time interaction, guys. Right?
I think that's true also. Not just dalam penceraian ataupun kes-kes syariah, but also I remember bila I baru start practice, I did a lot of criminal matters. So there were a lot of requests daripada inmates or people who are remanded in prison. So there was a point of time when satu hari came in 30 requests for me to meet them. So I couldn't. That's where I started to slow down on criminal matters. But the point is, they also have advice from inmates who have been through what they go through. So bila kita try and say, okay, look, you cannot fight this, or this is what you're gonna get. Nah, nanti orang punya immediate reply will be, I heard kat dalam orang cakap gini. Then kau tanyalah orang tu kan, tak payah suruh aku datang prison kan.
Interesting. Yeah,
Kan
it's
dia
the
punya
same.
yang
Concept.
dia punya member kat dalam tu dah masa garam dululah. Macam dulu aku macam gini nak gitu.
But the point is, if you want the truth, you want the reality of it, then you got to ask people who actually know about it, who have been doing it day in day out lah.
Right.
I think that is the perfect segue lah for us to go into our Q&A segment. Yeah, because like Yan said, we opened up a mailbox for you guys to submit any questions that you might have. So today we will be answering them.
But I think before we start, I nak tanya one question. Because tadi just now Farah was mentioning like a lot of people are asking about information for divorce and things like that. Is it because divorce is something that is really dalam kepala otak our society nowadays? Macam
The divorce rate.
The divorce rate is getting higher and things like that.
I think firstly it's a failure to plan. Sebelum kita bernikah pun we just jump into it sometimes
because of love.
Yes. Because of love, Tijana kan. At one point of time there was that trend #Tiljana. So everyone wanted to go Tiljana, but not everyone got there. So I also think at one point of time, even now, people are jumping to it at a young age. Bila tak plan, itu yang kita ada the biggest issue ataupun the biggest issue that couples face is kewangan. Masalah kewangan, and then you have sebabnya you bernikah lebih awal, you tak sempat nak open up your options, and that's where you have kecurangan, and then you don't plan, lepas ni for the next 1 year or 6 months I should have enough finances to provide for my wife and then my children. So all this planning didn't come in. What they were mostly planning on was just the wedding itself, but nobody really thought about what comes after.
Betul.
So I think that was an increase. Throughout these 12 years, there were increasing trends differently. Maksudnya, at one point of time, we saw a lot of old couples getting divorced.
Okay.
Old couples
Yeah, that one a bit peculiar lah. Sebabnya dah lama kan bersama tapi alih-alih nak divorce. I see couples come to Syariah Court masih pimpin tangan tapi nak get divorce. And then you have the next trend was younger people getting divorced. So it goes up and down. And I think at one point in time, because of COVID itself, that really spiked up the numbers because people were together every time, all the time. So even for personal protection orders, even for maintenance cases, it went up. So masa COVID tu, lepas circuit breaker, they allowed people to file divorce dekat Syariah Court. So the first day when that happened, the line went outside of Syariah Court because everyone was trying to file for a divorce.
Oh my God.
Betul. Yeah, so when the first day when I went to Syariah Court, the people were queuing up from daripada not say the top counter lah, daripada bawah tu nak register sampai keluar dekat Syariah Court. Because Syariah Court also at that point of time only gave a certain period of time for you to come and line up lah. So everyone started to queue very early. Even daripada 8:30 pagi orang dah start to line up.
Liza, did you witness that as well?
Well, fortunately for me, at that point of time, I remember we were in the same firm, but he was dealing with more Sharia files. I was doing family justice court files or civil divorce. So kita punya system semua online.
Yeah.
When he told me, that's why this is new tau sih. But I'm hearing this, I'm like,
Yeah, that one Syariah Court belum migrate to e-filing like it is now lah. So that time bila you nak file something, you have to be physically present.
I see.
So it created a problem for us also as lawyers because kita pun nak file kita punya documents, but we have to join the queue, you see. So that's a problem when you want to file. Then they made it separate so that siapa yang nak start case one line and then the rest of us take a different number. So it became better. Now it's even better because Syariah Court ada electronic filing. So we don't even have to be physically there pun.
It just goes to show kadang-kadang even though we get married for a few years, but COVID force you guys to live under one roof. Tu dia punya baik buruk semua nampak lah kan.
But I feel like it's so sad too.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it's true when you have too much of something also, it's not that good lah.
Yeah, absence make the heart grow fonder.
Correct.
Macam if you 24/7 together, macam pergi keluar kerja lah, macam ya Allah.
I need my me time.
Tapi dia pasal tak dapat me time during the COVID. That time circuit breaker berapa lama 2 months is it? 3 months.
3 months. 3 months.
3 months orang tak boleh tahan.
Yeah.
Tapi kalau kat jannah forever and ever tau.
Itu dah tak ada rasa lain, but sayang.
So maybe we can start with the very first question that we have for Liza and Hakim.
Before that, I think I also want to add, because of podcasts like this, I think people are more open to ask questions, which I think is a good thing, because divorces, wasiat, all these, they are, I don't know why, but taboo issues in masyarakat kita. So they tend not to want to ask unless they're comfortable with someone. But having a platform where they can kasih diorang punya questions, I think that opens up to them to be able to a channel to them to be able to luahkan ataupun untuk dapatkan that crucial information that they need. So I do congratulate both of you.
InsyaAllah. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Wow. Berlemang. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much.
Amin. Okay, shall we ask the first question and ready for the Q&A?
Okay, so maybe before we start all of these things, we need to do the standard disclaimer.
Okay, disclaimer. Yes.
This is not your whatever we are saying is not going to be equivalent to legal advice. Don't quote us and then say that this applies to my case. Therefore, this is legal advice that's been rendered by Liza and Hakim. No, don't quote them. Yeah, we are just giving macam case examples lah.
Case examples,
based off whatever is happening right now, and we are answering them accordingly.
Yes.
So jangan just a disclaimer.
Okay, disclaimer.
You have to understand that you don't give us details, so we are only basing our answers, not even advice, our answers based on what we on the surface, what information we have.
Yes. Okay, so the first question just now was wife of a childless couple file a divorce. Can husband object to the divorce?
Maksudnya husband tak nak divorce lah.
Tak nak cerai,
Okay. Beberapa perkara kita nak kena faham. Yang pertama, lafaz talak hak suami. Jadi sekiranya suami nak bercerai, dia hanya perlu lafazkan talak dengan niat untuk bercerai, tak perlu alasan. Okay. Tapi apabila seorang isteri nak bercerai, ada beberapa cara, beberapa kaedah. Satunya untuk membuktikan ada pelanggaran taklik, special conditions, ataupun mendapatkan fasakh.
Apa tu fasakh?
Fasakh tu dia ada macam
annulment lah. It's annulment, right?
There's no annulment in Muslim law, tapi there are conditions yang kalau terjadi, you boleh dapatkan fasakh. Tak perlu dapatkan lafaz talak.
Okay, faham.
Okay, but in Sharia court, ada kaedah lain melalui hakam, pelantikan hakam lah, maksudnya dia marriage conciliators. Jadi melalui hakam ni you boleh dapatkan penceraian juga. So in reality, husband kalau dia object pun, at the end of the day, and this is something I tell all my clients, at the end of the day, if the wife proceeds with the divorce proceedings, akan berlakunya penceraian. Soalannya kaedah yang mana? Yang dia nak gunakan, itu saja. Whether we want to do it peacefully or whether we have to go through a trial and prove our allegations. So the short answer to that, boleh tak husband object? He can object, but at the end of the day, the penceraian is going to happen.
Still going to happen.
One way or another lah.
Dia punya kira kan, because sometimes we always hear cases macam I nak cerai tapi tak nak cerai. Then of that, that's where when it goes to court, for the first time I jauh daripada mic kan. When they go to court, it's because the statement of divorce has already been mentioned, has already been filed. Dia akan tetap go through perceraian unless both of them pull out the divorce.
So unless the plaintiff, whether it's the wife or the husband, withdraws the application for divorce lah, provided husband belum lafazkan talak. Kalau husband dah lafazkan talak, then it is for the court to decide whether that talak is valid. Kalau valid, then penceraian dah berlaku pun. Tapi in this situation, this question, we are assuming that husband belum lafaz talak lah. So whether husband boleh object to divorce, like I said, boleh. He can put his contentions. Tapi at the end of the day, it's going to happen whether he likes it or not.
Right.
Just to add on also, the process will also be extra long lah.
When there's objections.
Yes, correct.
Wow.
Okay, so we hope that kind of answer your question.
The first question again.
Okay, we go right next to it. Okay, how does co-parenting work with a divorced couple? And can it change over time after the kids have grown?
Okay, I think the standard situation in Singapore, the standard situation in Singapore is actually joint custody lah.
Joint custody.
So I think just to make things clear to everyone, I think we saw quite a few questions yang cakap pasal custody aja tau. But actually what we are looking at is custody and then this other thing called care and control.
Care and
So
control.
those things are actually two separate things tau.
Yeah.
People confuse it. Don't cakap, I want custody of the kids, but actually what you're looking for is care and control. Because care and control is to manage their day-to-day activities.
Okay.
Who are they going to live with? What time they sleep? What they are going to eat? Those kind of things. That's what you want, care and control. Custody actually is for major decision making. So major decision making macam dia nak pergi sekolah mana, dia punya religion nak tukar jadi apa, or whichever religion they are in, nak tukar nama, all of these things. These are all major decision making.
Okay.
Yeah.
So misconception lah ni. Misconception.
Misconception. Okay. But I think this misconception dia bukan sekadar suka-suka punya misconception, but I think because in Muslim law dia tak ada issue of custody and care and control separately. It's under hadana. So hadana is just custody, but merangkul what we term as custody and care and control. It's just that in Singapore kita the courts have made it separate to differentiate between custody and care and control. Sebab custody ni macam Liza cakap is for major decisions. So education, sekolah mana nak masuk, kalau nak tukar nama ataupun tukar agama. So if it's joint custody, then both parents must agree. Tapi kalau sole custody, then only that sole custody parent lah yang buat that decision. So care and control pula is daily decisions, minor decisions. Nari budak ni nak pakai baju apa, dia nak makan pukul berapa, dia nak balik sekolah pukul berapa, makan apa. Takkan every decision you nak kena confide in your partner.
Faham,
Right? So that belongs to one care and control parent. Of course there are other aspects, macam there are other versions macam shared care and control where both parents have care and control. But it means maybe half of the week the child is with this parent, half of the week with the other parent. But it's tiring lah. So shared care and control ataupun split care and control where you have more than one child and then satu ikut mak, satu ikut bapa, may not be in their best interest. So Sharia court or any court is slow on giving out shared care and control, split care and control, unless there are exceptional circumstances that warrant it. Selalunya one parent gets care and control, tapi custody will always be joint because that is how we maintain co-parenting. Even if the child doesn't stay with you, you still have a say in the child's life because you need to be able to agree ataupun decide on education, on religion, on nama. So and you also have access. Sebabnya bila you tak anak tak duduk dengan you must have visitation rights. So this is on a whole, if we look at it, is co-parenting, and it happens every divorce. So for the question to say how does co-parenting work after divorce? It works the same because even though you're divorced, you still remain as parents to the children.
Betul.
So you cannot run away from that. Kalau you cakap, lepas divorce, I'm no longer the father of my children, then it cannot be.
Interesting.
Then,
The misconception.
Okay, but leading on to that, I had the question on that. Pasal you mention, in terms of parenting, memang kita husband and wife, kalau ada anak, those are our children. I'm the father, she's the mother, kind of thing. What about ni at the top of my head, if a single man marries a janda anak dua, and then they cerai,
right?
So does the children fall under his in this kind of situation?
Okay, I think we have one question just like that also.
Oh, is it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one is between dia punya father dengan dia punya auntie. Something like that. Okay, but these children are not the children of this couple, because they only belong to the wife.
Woman,
So custody is not with the father, this bapa tiri lah. Sebabnya they are not his children. But so custody will remain with the mother. Ataupun kalau masih ada ex-husband dia masih ada, then the old court order joint custody ke apa remains. Even if it's so custody, then it remains with the mother lah. But the court is not going to make an order to say that these children you have joint custody over them because you are not the biological father of these children.
Right. Okay. That
Very
clears
clear.
it up. Very clear. Okay. So, the next question. Possible to separate siblings when it comes to custody? Example, one parent isn't working.
Separate sibling. Okay, so that means ada macam maybe
Macam
two
tadi
or more.
Hakim mention kan?
So split care and control. Possible, but very difficult to get. You have to explain a lot of things lah to the court why it's going to be the best for the children in this situation? Why is it in their best interest for them to be split up? Because the courts don't like them to be split up. But you have to have really good reasons why it will be good for them to it be okay lah. At least good for them to be separate. They can live with that arrangement.
Faham.
I think
there's more as well. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's okay.
Because I have done one which is something similar, and then the parents were actually asked to come down to court and explain what are they going to do to ensure that the siblings bond is still there.
Mesti ada adik-beradik.
So you just because you're separated means they don't care. I mean, yes, it may be to the best of their interest lah. Yeah, but they must still maintain sibling bond. That's the important thing. Yeah, so you need to explain to them macam bila lah they will meet each other. How is this not going to affect their relationship? And then how are both parents going to work together and ensure that this is not going to change anything?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's for the well-being of the children lah.
Yes.
Right, because when kita, like for example me and don't use us lah. Macam for a couple, right, they dah tak sebulu, dah tak
sekufu.
that word. Then they divorce. They just want to like get away from each other. But then the kids ni macam, sometimes lah we see parents kind of divorced parents do things for their own benefit. Right. So I feel like Alhamdulillah, the Singapore punya court does this in order to ensure the well-being of the kids, make sure that they are not separated and things like that with their siblings.
Yeah, because I think the court's main concern or priority is the welfare principle, which is the best interest of the children lah. So walaupun bercerai, then what happens to these children? They cannot be left in the middle. They cannot be brought into proceedings pasal parents nak what they want. It's not about what parents want, but it's what is going to be best for the children. That's what the court is looking at.
So kalau tak ada anak is easier in a sense to but once there's children involved, they need to they need to ensure that the future of the children isn't affected.
Correct. Right. It's a very sensitive issue. So even for the courts, it's a case to case basis. No one case is the same as another.
Right. So kita akan sambung lagi dengan another question, because I really am happy, bukan happy but memang banyak soalan-soalan lah. We just want to make a disclaimer juga, not all questions can be answered. And at the same time also, kalau let's say korang tunggu-tunggu episode ni nak keluar tapi soalan dia tak jawab kan, tapi so you know what to do lah.
Contact them
lah.
Yes.
Jangan tunggu.
Kenapa ni?
Tadi dah lah because
Okay, soalan seterusnya. What happen if ex-spouse doesn't pay child's maintenance fee of $300 monthly?
This one my favourite.
Your favourite?
Okay.
I like to do enforcement punya applications.
So this is called enforcement application.
Yes.
Tadi boleh nampak Kakak Hani. Okay, Liza, silakan.
Yeah, so basically enforcement applications, you don't start telling the court your grandmother story kenapa tak boleh bayar ni semua. The judge punya question selalu very simple. Did you pay or you didn't pay?
Okay.
Because no matter what your circumstances is, right, you are expected to pay the court order amount as long as it's supposed to run.
Okay.
So you just apply enforcement court order. Kalau tak bayar, the amount maybe say for example $5,000 lah.
Yeah.
They will break it down into a smaller amount in installments for you on top of the $300 that you need to pay. But your existing $300 masih jalan juga.
Okay.
Dia tak ada macam exceptions lah. Cakap macam
it's a separate application altogether. So you're supposed to apply separately to reduce the amount or to remove entirely.
I see.
Okay.
So another thing that I like to do as well is kalau those yang geng I tak nak bayar, that kind of thing, then we will actually request for the court to buat macam gyro application. It's what we call attachment of earnings order.
Okay.
To bayar direct daripada diorang punya gaji. Yes.
Macam kita kan sekarang ada mendaki fund ke apa, di mana akan potong kan,
Gyro.
automatically
something like that.
Okay.
So those are things that we can also do as well.
Right.
Yeah, when it comes to enforcement punya proceedings lah.
So from what I understand is there will be a court order baru keluar, then he have to pay the debts with accrued interest lah.
Yes.
And then
so it will be a new court order on top of the existing maintenance order.
Right.
So the new court order is what we call the enforcement order.
So, okay.
That means he has to pay that utang yang he owes from the previous one on top of the $300 that he has to pay.
Okay. So so that means in a sense the wife or rather the ex-wife can file for this
Yes.
enforcement order.
Yeah, it's actually super easy to apply. Yes.
Habis yang tanya soalan ni.
It's super easy to apply.
To also add on, you cannot take this lightly sebabnya there's already a court order. Kalau you tak membayar, that means if the husband doesn't pay for the child maintenance, then it is a breach of court order.
Okay.
Breach of court order also can land you in prison for at least maybe 3 days lah. Kalau satu kali tak bayar. There are cases where husband mati-mati tak nak bayar, so he doesn't mind sitting in for like 3 days and then come out not paying, go back in 3 days not come
free
out.
food.
Pada dia, if that's what my ex-wife wants to do, then let her be lah. Biar dia susah payah naik court just to do all this lah.
Just for the 3-day imprisonment sentence.
No, but it doesn't mean you masuk 3 days cancel what
it
you
doesn't.
owe.
You still have to
Masih
pay.
hutang.
Still have to pay. Yeah.
Oh, dia macam 300 bulan ni tak bayar, masuk prison, keluar masih ada 300.
Betul.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Dia cuma menyusahkan hidup ex-husband dia lah.
Ex-wife or ex-husband.
Lah. Okay. So, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, the child maintenance fee stops when the child turns 21. Is it?
The general rule of thumb is yes, when they turn 21, but if let's say they are still pursuing tertiary education, right, they can still claim maintenance further. Apart from they are 21, because nowadays banyak budak semua tengah uni at the age of 24, 25.
Right.
So the parents are then expected to provide maintenance up till they finish their tertiary education.
I see.
Okay.
Cuma tapi kalau anak-anak munasabah lah sikit. Kalau kau dah 30 tahun masih nak belajar, masih nak minta maintenance, kau pun minta kena lempang juga.
Betul juga.
Ya, dah 30 tahun tu at least lah.
Pandai-pandai lah berdikari kan,
kena
cari
pandai
duit
berdikari,
sendiri.
betul. Dah 30 tahun kot. Kadang-kadang kan. Okay. So now ada lagi satu soalan. Is it necessary to engage a lawyer for cases like what I'm going through? My ex-husband, current girlfriend abused my eldest son. An AVH has been reported to. Police case has been made. Will this be a straightforward case? Yep. An AVH tu apa?
National Antivirus. Okay, it's an agency under MSF, Ministry of Social and Family, is it? Family Development. Okay, so it's under MSF. It's a helpline that you can call sekiranya you know that someone has been abused or
Domestic
sexually harassed. Domestic lah. Okay, so you can call the helpline to lodge a report, and then the case I think will be transferred to CPS for investigation lah. CPS is Child Protective Service if this involves children lah. Okay? So if it involves children, then CPS akan step in. So it's no longer in the jurisdiction of Sharia Court, not within Sharia Court. But Sharia Court can work closely with CPS untuk to help them make orders if there are any applications or proceedings in the Sharia Court involving these children.
Okay.
So macam dia tanya, will it be a straightforward case? By the way, you were saying, I don't think so lah sis.
No, it will not be a straightforward case because satu, kita nak kena faham when it comes to children, nothing is straightforward. Okay, because every child is different. Kaedah untuk kita mendekati dengan anak tu untuk dapatkan the truth is different. For us to be able to decide, say for us macam aku pula Syariah Court. For us, for the court to be able to decide what is going to be best interest of the children, which means we also have to look into the investigations from CPS and then ask for recommendation what is the best for this child in terms of custody, care and control, access. There are other tools that the court also use, macam DSSA, divorce specialist agents, where if you know to have supervised access at first, ataupun you can call for custody evaluation report. But on a whole, you have to also understand satu benda, variation is not easy. Okay, when you want to do an amendment to the court order, it's not easy. Tak macam dulu lah, saya rasa dulu bila saya mula-mula tu, kalau dua-dua pihak setuju je, you can record consent order, you can get a variation. Tapi in recent years, with the restructuring of Sharia Court, it has been discovered that sebenarnya buat variation ni susah sebab ada certain threshold, ada certain requirements you have to meet. Okay, the most important one is that the order is unworkable. So unworkable. Okay. But when you have children involved, you also must consider what is their best interest. So having to put two difficult issues before the court for the court to consider is not going to be anywhere straightforward. So it is going to be complicated. For variation of any issue, to me personally now, whether it's on the children, on the house, on nafkah iddah muta'ah ke, on any ancillary issue yang you lalui masa divorce, to change that order it's going to be difficult. So it's better for you to have a lawyer.
Dia bukan boleh pergi macam website then just edit save
So
submitted.
You boleh, but likelihood is going to waste your time because mahkamah akan tanya you, okay, so you nak tukar order ni kenapa? So on what ground? Kalau on what ground you tak tahu, then how you going to answer the judge? And how is the judge going to make that decision? So judge nak tahu you buat ni atas dasar apa? In law. So if you don't know it, then get a lawyer lah.
Kalau dasar firasat ibu kita tak boleh
Tak jalan.
Yeah, as much as the mother's instinct or intuition is very strong ke apa, to get things done proper, you have to have a proper arrangement jugalah. Tak boleh
Maaf cakap lah, but you need evidence. So you need to be able to conduct your case. If you don't engage lawyers, you must know how to conduct your case, because bila you pergi mahkamah can only decide based on apa you present kepada mahkamah. Tapi kalau you datang kepada mahkamah, because I rasa lah sebagai ibu ni, I tahu anak I menderita, tapi tak tunjuk apa-apa.
Evidence.
Then it's just you saying it. Tapi the opponent ataupun your ex-husband is going to say the same thing. Tak ada. Yang setahu saya, anak saya cakap dia tak nak duduk dengan mak dia gini-gini. So who is the judge going to believe if you don't send any evidence to them?
Right.
But I think be careful also about the evidence, because some of them are what we call self-serving evidence. They will come up and then they will say, but my kid say, Mama, I want to follow you.
Yeah. So they come up with recordings, they come up with handwritten letters saying, kononnya daripada anak. So I just came back from Syariah Court punya event today, and the judges did raise about this lah. Generally now the judges do not have interest in watching your videos or looking at photographs ataupun evidence that is self-serving ataupun yang telah diada-adakan,
fabricated.
You have to understand that judges are not stupid also lah. They know kalau it is being made up, because tadi one of the judges also said ada case di mana they get the child to say the father hurt him. Okay, tapi bila keluar transkrip, dekat atas ada cakap say. So kadang-kadang they make it obvious, they make it like did your father hit you? Dan budak tu cakap no. Are you sure your father hit you? So
objection leading gitu.
Macam gitu lah. So kalau benda tu tak ada, jangan diada-adakan. They're not meant to serve you. It's meant the best interest is meant to serve the children, not you.
Right. So in this case, macam dia cakap kat sini macam the current girlfriend abused the eldest son kan. So macam if they want to, macam Liza kata kalau they want to find evidence, ada batas dia jugalah. So in normal circumstances, the court will kind of like interview the abused child, is it?
So this kind usually is a bit complicated. It's never straightforward like what Hakim say.
Yeah.
So in this kind of situation, the judges will be very prudent in what they do next. So there will be other things. For example, they might actually personally interview the child. But I think the more common one that they usually do is what they call custody evaluation report, which is done by MSF, and it's super long. It's a long-winded process, but it requires both parents to be interviewed. And then whoever live around there, sekolah diorang semua, they might actually get interviewed to ask, hey, how is the kid doing? Yeah. So it's quite a very hectic situation lah, because there's a lot of follow up that happens, and then kita pun nak tengok MSF bila free. You're not the only case. Doesn't mean the judge say, okay, Inari, tomorrow. No, today itself, MSF is going to do the custody evaluation report. It will not be ready until the next 3 to 6 months.
Correct.
Panjang
about 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So there are a lot of legal tools that the court can use. So one is like Liza cakap, custody evaluation report. Most prominently, if there is an allegation of abuse. So if there is an allegation of abuse, then you're most likely is going to go for CER ataupun custody evaluation report. Kalau tak ada allegation of abuse, then the court has judicial interview. That means the judge in Sharia court especially, not talking about FGC is different, but for Sharia court, the judge sits with an in-house counsellor to interview the child lah. And untuk pengetahuan ramai, because sebabnya bila datang interview ni semua orang rasa okay, they're going to ask the child dia nak ikut siapa. They don't ask that question at all. Dia akan tanya soalan lain untuk determine what is the best for the child. Dia takkan tanya okay, you nak ikut siapa? Nak ikut mak ke nak ikut bapak? They won't ask that question.
Itu movie saja.
Betul. So don't try to coax your child in saying okay, kalau dia tanya nak ikut siapa, cakap ikut mak, cakap ikut bapak. Because they are not going to ask the child that question. So before the child knows, the interview dah habis. So that question doesn't even pop up. So don't waste your time trying to train ataupun trying to rehearse your child, because what the court wants to know is the truth, what is going to be best for the child.
I think the psychologists would know
They would know better.
what question to ask. You know,
And at the same time, I think I want to interject a bit also. This means, right, kalau you have to coax your son or your daughter to tell people that you are a good mother, then I think you are questionable a bit.
Correct.
Because naturally, if you are a good parent to your child, regardless of whatever the circumstances is or are, naturally the child would tell people that you are a good parent. So from that particular experience for the past few months, you are jaga anak you ke apa, your child naturally will tell the counsellor, yeah, my mom is that kind of things. So that's why I think it's very important that even just now Hakim Liza was mentioning yang the court is not just for the interest of the husbands and the ex-spouses, but predominantly for the children. So sebagai tanggungjawab ibu bapa, anak kita tu penting. Jangan sekali gadai. Ignore your children just because you are so focused on yourself, because ni adalah amanah yang dikurniakan kita oleh Allah kan. So
I think I think this one the question make me very curious about something else lah. This one is abuse with the kid, right? But have you guys ever encountered any cases about domestic violence that led to divorce?
Of course.
Ada.
Yeah, definitely.
husband and wife, husbands to wife or wife to husbands pun ada juga.
Ada. Recent trends also seem to show that it's the other way around lah.
Wife to
husband
husband
to
yang kena abuse.
Yeah. So I would say now that we are on par lah. Kalau dulu selalunya it's always husband yang abuse wife, but we have cases where it's the other way around, and it's unfortunately becoming a norm lah. Because especially when we have on TikTok ke apa, women wanting to be equal, tapi when you're being hit by a man, you're not equal, you know. So we have that syndrome pun dekat social media. So it also influences the society.
I see. I think last time, like you said, there was more macam women who goes out and macam say that they are being abused lah. Usually macam emotional abuse, physical abuse, right? But for men, is it the same or is it a different kind of abuse?
I think it's more of physical lah. Physical abuse. Yeah, we are seeing cases where that is happening more. Whether it is true or not, Wallahu a'lam. Because that works on both sides. Sama ada you are telling us the truth or not. But we are seeing cases where husbands are also being abused now instead of just wives. Doesn't mean that abuse against wife does stop lah. We still have cases like that too. But what I'm saying is it's now on equal standing. We can't be sure that if the husband says that he is being abused, we cannot just totally neglect it or abandon it because he's a guy. It's not possible. Because it is possible in this age.
Right. Dah tak ada macam dulu, you sure your wife beat you? You sure?
You expect us to believe that.
You're a man, you know. That kind of statement cannot be used nowadays lah. Right. Lagipun kita kena ingat, kadang-kadang sekarang we have MMA women fighters, you know.
Well,
But then at the same time also I feel that the importance of kita respecting not just there's always about respecting women and things like that. But of course we also need to ingat kita semua manusia, we have to respect one another.
Yes.
One another, of
Kalau
course.
kita dah marah ke apa ke, jangan jalan tangan lah. Nak jalan tangan pergi boxing class. Okay. Then at the same time also I feel that the apa nama dia, in terms of the violence towards men pun, I feel perhaps it could be because kita, I've seen it before, yang where the husband or the boyfriend or the guy in the relationship, dia the kind yang pendiam, dia tak jalan tangan and things like that. So the wife or the partner hit sekali ke apa, then they will say, why you pukul, dia diam, then macam makin syok.
Yeah.
Then because of that, it can use as a reason to divorce also. Right. Wow. So just because kita diam-diam jangan kita
Diam.
yeah, of course okay, I have based on this violence pula.
Okay.
Is it an easy option to an easy reason to use for divorce? Macam my husband beat me and then or my wife beat me, then got marks and then you file for divorce and then terus.
Okay, it depends on what aspect you're talking about. Kalau to get the divorce itself, if you can prove that he has hurt you physically ke, he has damaged your property ke, he has jatuhkan maruah you sebagai seorang isteri ke, you boleh dapatkan cerai taklik, which is breach or pelanggaran taklik lah. Taklik ni kalau you tengok marriage cert, sekarang punya will be at the back. So dia ada 3 condition kan. Saya takkan tinggal dengan isteri saya lebih pada 4 bulan berterusan. Saya if I don't give maintenance during that 4 months, dengan if I hurt my wife physically ataupun damage her property or ruin her reputation, then ada pelanggaran taklik, then boleh gugur talak 1. So if you're talking about the divorce, I wouldn't say it's straightforward because you have to prove it, right? So but if you are able to prove it, then you ada that option of cerai taklik. But in other aspects, ancillary matters, sama ada if this physical abuse ada any effect ke tidak, I think there are other bigger factors that the court consider when it comes to nafkah iddah, muta'ah, tentang perumahan, tentang anak-anak. So if it's abuse, maybe I think it can probably affect children, tapi tak semestinya, because the point of view is if you can abuse your wife, maybe you will abuse your children. But if there's no evidence of you abusing the children, I cannot say that you will abuse your children. It's not fair to you. So if I were to say ada effect on any of these tak, maybe sedikit to anak, tapi I cannot be sure lah because we need to look at the evidence.
Right. All in all, evidence is still a key lah.
Correct.
We have one guest juga yang shared about her domestic violence punya experience lah. And then I want to ask you lawyers professionals if this is good advice or not. So dia cakap if you are domestically abused, you just make a report to the police. That report can help you in court. Is that true?
This is a very standard thing that people always say because they want to show that ni dah buat report, this and that. To be honest, at this point, at this stage, sometimes because police report siapa pun boleh bikin tau. You know, even if
EPC sekarang
and everything is all online. Even if you want to just say, I'm doing this for the purposes of legal proceedings in the future. We have seen so many of these, but it doesn't show anything much unless you actually take up an application in court for a personal protection order. And this will require more than just a police report. Kalau you really got beaten up, then you will need to go and see a doctor, get yourself examined. Mananya bruises, were you bleeding, this kind of situation. So all of this will then prove a further point lah, and help your case further, rather than just making a police report.
See, this is coming from a lawyer, guys. Listen to the lawyer.
So at the end of the day, it's credibility lah. So does just a police report, does it make your evidence credible enough? Because you will need other documents macam Liza cakap to support medical report. If you at that point of time you happen to have you have a video and it can be seen that you're being abused. Even in Sharia court, walaupun they don't look at videos, you can still take screenshots and can be shown. Kalau ada voice, then then can be transcribed so that the court can see what was being said. So these are all things that you can that the court can consider or help the court in coming to a fair judgment lah.
Right.
Yeah, I think whether it's domestic abuse or whatever that leads to divorce kan, I think a lot of people macam scared to and don't know what to do and scared, and macam maybe they listen to this episode they macam macam complicated say. But rest assured that these lawyers, their job is to help you through these proceedings, macam procedures. Procedures,
Sama lah,
right? So you don't have to be afraid. Maybe I don't know, maybe this episode will be your calling. Maybe you macam dah terfikir-fikir macam should I engage a lawyer? Maybe this is
I
the
think
time
it's the
lah.
first step that you need to take, because macam for example dalam wasiat, issue wasiat pun a lot of people tak tahu what they can do, what they cannot do until they either attend a course, a talk, a seminar, ataupun they actually ask. So the first step is taking that first step to ask. So once you take that first step, you nak decide whether you want to engage lawyer or not, it's up to you. But you need to take that first step to find out what your rights are, what you can do, what you cannot do, what's available for you. And again, free consult for us, tak ada obligations for you to sign up. So at the end of the day, you decide whether you want to engage or not. Tapi find out what your rights are first.
Yes. So this is overall the message that we want to send to our insiders lah. It's because you guys submit stories that are sometimes kita baca macam Allahu Akbar, like we cannot imagine the things that you might be thinking lagi ada. Some of you guys ada anak and things like that. So insyaAllah with our partners ni FND Legal, this is a platform lah, hotline lah, a call for help for you guys. Just like Hakim kata, take the first step, right? How do you
take the first step? You langkah kaki ke depan, langkah
Bismillah,
kaki ke
lagi kanan. No.
Of course, you can always take the first step. Okay, you Bismillah, you ambil handphone you. Ya Allah Tuhanku, please protect me. 9653-1612. So you call, hi FND Legal, I need help. Okay, then you schedule your appointment with them. Okay, first consultation is free.
One more time, the number
9653-1612. Kalau Melayu, 6 salah.
First number dah salah.
9653-1612. Kalau Chinese,
9653-1612. Tengah fikir juga.
InsyaAllah.
put her in the spot.
Well, thank you Liza and Hakim for this episode. InsyaAllah, we are very enlightened. Some of misconceptions that we also discovered today. So insyaAllah it will be beneficial for our listeners.
FND Legal,
Experience, understanding, and affordable.
Alright, we'll see you guys in the next episode. We've come to the end of another episode of Outside In.
If you like what you hear, please follow us on all our socials, TikTok, Instagram and Spotify and YouTube.
Share it with all of your friends and family members or people who might need help so that they can benefit from this episode. InsyaAllah. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Assalamualaikum.
Assalam.